That's right. It's a bonus hour of happy hour, kids. You are welcome. If you're not happy about it, I'm sorry. If you are excited about it, get excited because we're doing it all summer long now until Duck Insider returns on August 1st. You will get 2 hours of happy hour every day. I think most days it'll be Casey and I. We'll invite in some guests. Maybe we'll take some summer vacations, but for the most part, this is what you're going to be getting at 1 o'clock until August comes around. Then Duck Insider's back, ready to get you ready for the football season, figure out which of the players have gambling problems on the teams, which ones are just out there to play football. It's going to be fantastic. Casey, I got to ask you, did it deliver? Was it everything that you hoped it could be? Game 3 at Madison Square Garden. Last night, you had the onslaught of celebrities showing up. You had the President of the United States. I don't think I've ever heard that much booing during the national anthem, but hey, I will leave that alone. We had fights in the streets. And at some point, between Timothée Chalamet dressed up as Vector from Despicable Me and whatever DJ Khaled was doing on his phone that was more important than the game that he probably spent upwards of $250,000 to be sitting courtside just to look at his phone. With all that set aside, there was an actual basketball game. So did the spectacle live up to what you hoped it would be?
I thought so. I thought it was great.
You thought
it was a very back-and-forth game up until that fourth quarter.
Even in the fourth quarter, I mean, yes, there was a lead where the Spurs pulled away.
Close to that 10-point stretch where that 4-point play gets challenged, and that would have put away the game and sent the Knicks fans packing, but kept them in the room.
Can I tell you how much better it is for me, and I imagine for everybody else? You can make your arguments if you want to. Just seeing both teams make shots down the stretch. I know we've been adamant about how you and I are both rooting for the Knicks. I think it's too early for Victor Wembanyama to start collecting trophies. I have a feeling he's going to get plenty of Larry O'Briens if he stays healthy and this team stays intact, certainly. Just not ready for it yet. New York has been waiting 53 years for this. The team, I really like the way that they're built. I like the personalities on it. I'm rooting for the Knicks. But that doesn't mean I want the Spurs to miss every shot at the end. I don't know if you're the same way.
I don't want it to be a blowout. I want quality basketball down the stretch.
And now maybe if it's the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm rooting for the Spurs to miss every shot that they take. Maybe that's what it is. It's the same thing. Like, you give me the Super Bowl, my team's not in it. Give me a back and forth. Give me a football game where you have Josh Allen taking the lead with 13 seconds left. Let's see what Pat Mahomes can do. Awesome. That's why you don't want the games to end in the overtime rule was changed and all of that. That to me is the best. They made a lot of shots last night. And guys across the rosters from both sides of it at the end of that game. And I'm like, all right, the Knicks within 2, within 3, within 2, within 2, within what? It was guys making big shots in the big moment. And it was great to see that the spectacle did not overshadow the game, at least for me as a fan.
The game was able to deliver with the spectacle.
Yeah, it's the centerpiece for a reason. And I think that is something that you commend these teams for. And you tip your cap and you go, hey, Spurs, you got beat up at home. You came in this down 0-2. You needed to have a bounce back. Knicks needed to continue doing what they were going to do and to give themselves a chance at the end. Remember, even though game 1 ended up being, a 10-point game, and that ended with a flurry of 11 straight buckets or 11 straight points for the Knicks to take that 10-point lead. So it wasn't a blowout going into that final stretch. The last game, of course, ends with a missed last-second shot. So this was, everything you could hope for from a basketball standpoint. There was a lull in the Knicks offense in the middle of the fourth quarter, gave the Spurs a chance to hang on, and they made the shots they needed to. They had resistance. It's not like they walked away with that because of that lead. So I thought the basketball game itself was great. I've told you my pet peeves. The free throw disparity, and Mike Brown has to come out and say it. You're up 2 games to 1. I don't need it every single
game.
I don't need it every single game. Have you noticed it since I brought that up?
Yeah.
That there is not a game that goes by.
Since you pointed it out, there's the free throw disparity, and I'm looking going.
But it's always a coach or a player. Somebody has to, and it makes a headline. I don't know. There's a couple things going on. If you're tuning in and logging into ESPN.com or CBSSports.com or BleacherReport.com or wherever you get your sports news, we can assume that the team that lost is not happy with the officials. Do we need headlines to highlight that? Does somebody need to go and take the time to write the article that, this coach / player / executive wasn't happy with the officiating in a game where their team did not win? I don't need that. Maybe it's not that the players are complaining. It's the idea that people covering the league think that we need to concern ourselves with that. So maybe that's what it is.
Also, to push back on that a little bit, I think that fans do also go, again, you can make the spectacle out of it all, but at the end of the day, we're still going to look at box scores. We're still going to look at analytics and go, why is this not the way that it should be? Why is it? Do
you think the officiating was terrible in the game?
Not
yesterday?
at all. Yeah, I thought there was a few missed calls. I thought there was a few calls that leaned the Knicks way. I thought there was calls that leaned the Spurs way.
Wembanyama just shoving people is one of the funnier things. For that to be a no call like that, sure. Go ahead, make your big thing about that. It's Jalen Brunson, who's 6'2", guarding Victor Wembanyama. He did the same thing to Jose Alvarado in Game 2. I was trying to remember if it was Game 1 or Game 2. And so when you go Grand Theft Alvarado and you pull him off, he's 6 foot even, if that. And so, those ones are kind of funny, how Wemby is out there flailing or whatever. That's not what decides the game. It's not. The officiating, first of all, it's not a job that I ever want. It is certainly not something that is easy, and they're going to get it. Just sit back and enjoy the game. So maybe it's the media, maybe it is the coaches and players that they have to make that point. I think, especially in a series, you have to throw it out there because it does sway the way that officials look at it. If you go and you talk to them about, hey, keep an eye out for this and do that, and so pointing it out is kind of Mike Brown's job.
And especially when every possession in the playoffs is very crucial, you got to maximize it.
Okay. So maybe we just ask if you're writing headlines for this. It's still bugging me, but I've tried to kind of recalibrate that. The other one is every single headline: Victor Wembanyama, then the Spurs. What do you have? 30 last night?
Yeah, 32.
30. Nice game. He's a great player.
32, 8, 6, and 3 blocks and 2 steals.
Who made big shots down the stretch for the Spurs?
De'Aaron Fox.
Who else? Everybody did, but it was De'Aaron Fox made probably the biggest shot of the game. But Champagnie was out there making shots, and just the team effort is the one thing that is bugging me, that is being eclipsed by it. If you're going to a sports website, I don't spend a lot of time checking People magazine to see what they're saying about the finals. If you want to put a piece in there, hey, you need to check out this 7'4", 22-year-old who is lighting the NBA world on fire, and put a piece about Victor Wembanyama there where people are just being exposed to it. You have friends like this that don't pay attention to sports, and all of a sudden something big happens. They're like, have you heard of this guy, Victor Wembanyama? Yes, we have. We're on ESPN.com. So maybe that's what's bugging me. I mean, I get that things are shared out there, but I tried to take a step back and just look at it and go, man, why is it that they're just going to the easiest storyline? Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but boy, it's getting on my nerves.
I don't know if I necessarily hate it, but I think that what I'm getting frustrated at is the non-stories about Wemby. Again,
how do you mean non-stories?
When no new ground is being covered on him, I think, again, he's
fantastic.
He's 7'4", this, that, and the other. We can go by game, talk about what he did in his performances. But there's nothing new that we're seeing about Wemby, the personality, the profile, that needs to be pressed on more than this guy's playing good basketball right now.
Yeah, he is. He's very good, and he's certainly adamant about being the team leader on there. De'Aaron Fox was awesome down the stretch. That guy is their veteran presence. He's really good. Went out there and made the shots when you need to down the stretch.
It's a 5-point game, and De'Aaron Fox is bringing the ball up the court. Victor Wembanyama is being bear hugged by Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
What does De'Aaron Fox have to do? All right, this is my time to shine. Yep. Go up, get to the spot, shoots from the elbow, knocks it down.
What's the final score of that game?
115, 111.
He had 30 of the 115. Great game. Just give me a little bit more. I feel like I'm having to dig past the praise. Okay, here's where the actual story is. It's just it's funny to me the way that we look at it.
And you don't have to go very far to look at that for the Knicks, though. I think that's it's the difference. It's the staunch difference between the two.
And that is exactly right. And I would say that even a little bit of that last year, SGA becomes the league MVP last year, and you have Oklahoma City, and that conversation is a lot more, and it goes deeper into the organization and what they've done and how they've collected picks, and they've done this and they've done that, and there's just a lot more to it. San Antonio has been one of the model organizations, or certainly was, through the 2000s and the 2010s.
Through my entire lifetime.
Not for your entire lifetime. They were on a pretty big dry spell until Wembanyama shows up, because they missed, 8, 9 playoffs?
But if you take the championships
that
they had before then it kind of evens it out.
Yeah, but that's a longer dry spell than the Portland Trail Blazers had between playoff appearances. So, again, it's the fortune of getting that high draft pick, but they have done well with their other picks. Dylan Harper is another guy that is really fun to watch and is certainly not afraid of the ambiance within Madison Square Garden, the magnitude of the NBA Finals. That's a guy that is appearing to be, as a rookie, built for these moments. So watching him and the way he carries himself, the way he attacks, that is really fun. So you're not getting all of this. De'Aaron Fox led a Sacramento team to light the beam and got everybody real excited. Why did he end up leaving? Why? Well, there's all of these different stories that you can tell, but it feels like we're just getting the one, and I think you're right. It is just the obvious things. It feels really easy to do that. But Spurs get the win. Here's your flowers. Congratulations. And congratulations to us. We get more basketball. We get more of this series. I think we said yesterday that you and I would both be okay. Knicks in 4. But we'd be okay with that.
100%.
You knew you weren't getting the Spurs sweeping them, which was the worst case scenario for this finals, at least in my opinion, especially with New York as a part of it and everything that's going on at Madison Square Garden. That, to me, does bring in a lot of basketball fans, which is good for the NBA. And if you can put out a good product and have good games, we haven't had blowouts. They're coming down to the wire. It's exactly what you want. So now tell those stories. It's more than just the one guy. And that was a little disappointing because I really enjoyed that basketball game yesterday. The back and forth, the amount of guys making big shots, and the spectacle not being the main headline, which was great. I mean, some people fell asleep during the game, but hey, I'm not gonna get upset with it. I fall asleep all the time at sporting events. I fell asleep at a NASCAR truck series race once. Do you know how loud it is? Like, the decibel meter is like a chainsaw. I fell asleep there. So I've fallen asleep at baseball games, basketball games, football games, concerts. I'm not gonna judge. I won't judge anybody. I will say, give up on the denials. Right? Just fall asleep. Hey, fell asleep. Got tired. Fell asleep. Have you ever done that job? I haven't done that job. Guess what? Probably not on the track to be doing that job anytime soon. So sometimes you need a nap, especially when you're old. Been there, done that. We got a ton to talk about. Times put out their 100 list for the most influential athletes of 2026. So we'll take a little perusal through there. There's some names that I did not recognize, and I haven't made it through the entire list because it just came out not all that long ago. There is a Seattle Seahawk on there. There is some names that you know and love playing in the NBA Finals that are in there. We've got a crazy baseball game that took place as, I believe, the first home game for the A's in Vegas. We've got a whole slew of things to get to. But the beauty is we've gotten this bonus hour. So you've got me and Casey all the way up until 3 o'clock. Stay with us. It is bonus hour of Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The new
It's interesting. We all kind of get into our lanes. We love sports. That's why we're listening to this station, or we're talking on this station. And I've always said that, there's all these things that we know about, and we always, try to razz each other because the other, hosts or somebody that we're talking to gets a stat wrong or kind of misinterprets something. But I was looking through this list. It's the Times 100 most influential sports personalities of 2026. It's kind of shocking how many names you don't recognize right away. I mean, Time takes a bigger scope and looks at all of sport. But there's so many blind spots that we have in popular culture or music or, global politics or whatever it is. There's so many things that we don't know. But it is kind of shocking looking through this. There's at least half a dozen folks that are in auto racing that I have no idea really who they are. I don't know who Lando Norris is in Formula One.
McLaren racer.
Well, there you go. I don't know this girl, Najiri Kennedy, softball player. There's people making a big impact across sports that are off of our radar. So it's kind of a fun list to go and look through. Now, there's some big names that are in, of course, the sports that you recognize. LeBron James and Masai Ujiri is in there. SGA, Steph Curry, Victor Wembanyama, Cooper Flag, all make it for the NBA. But there's a whole lot of people that are making it for women's basketball and the WNBA. Asia Wilson is on this list, and Becky Hammon, Caitlin Clark. You have... who else? Dawn Staley, who is obviously a college basketball coach. So for this list, it kind of gives you an insight onto some of these sports that are emerging. One of the disappointing things, only 2 Major League Baseball players on this list. So as much as you and I love baseball, I think you could probably guess who the 2 guys that are on this list from MLB. But looking at it and going, man, there's so many young stars coming up, and we're seeing such an impact from those players. It feels like there's stars all over the league. Yet there's 2 guys that stand head and shoulders above this league. I went through. I don't think I hit everybody on the NBA list. Just scanning here, Jalen Brunson is on there and some others. But there's a whole lot of NBA players from teenager to 40-something. And guys in between. The 2 on the baseball list, do you want to guess?
Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani.
Pretty simple, right? So as much as we love that sport, got to acknowledge that everybody listening probably isn't as much a baseball fan, or maybe more of a baseball fan than you and I.
And the drop-off of their superstardom compared to the rest of the league is pretty vast.
Sure, I get that. But you have a rookie who played on a very meh team in the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flag makes that list. The NBA, I think, still has, I guess, the attention and the imagination of popular culture. Because, again, looking at it from a Time magazine perspective, that's a different angle than we look at sports. I mean, I literally just went through that with the way that I'm watching the NBA Finals. I would like to have a little more in-depth on these teams and learn more about the role players and all of that. Meanwhile, the NBA and the WNBA getting a lot of coverage. We've got 1 softball player, 2 baseball players for America's former pastime.
I mean, a gamer is on here.
There's a gamer on there. There is a cheerleader on there. You go down to the NFL.
In all respect to Faker, he is the most impactful player in that game. So the game that Faker plays, Faker is Lee Faker Song-hyuk.
Sure.
He plays League of Legends, which is now one of the largest esports games in the world right now.
So wonderful to have a child on the show with me that can explain that stuff to me. So Faker... Well deserving.
Very deserving.
IShowSpeed on this list.
He has done WWE stuff, so it's like
that's
where do
that's
we
actually the picture.
Athlete?
That is the picture that is on there. Well, I mean, it's in sports, so this is not necessarily
okay.
Athletes, because Curt Cignetti is on that list. So looking at the football list, the basketball list longer than football, and this includes a flag football player named Diana Flores. Fernando Mendoza makes the list. So again, this is something that you're not seeing in baseball, but you're seeing in the other major sports. But football isn't that dominant. Stephen Ross makes the list as an owner. Roger Goodell, commissioner. Melody Hobson, who is an owner. But you've got on this list Curt Cignetti, Fernando Mendoza, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Myles Garrett, Saquon Barkley. So it's not really a ton of players and coaches. This is not a very long list. So more NBA players, and if you throw in the WNBA, then there are even NFL players. Only a couple golfers. Nelly Korda's on there. I don't even know who this is. Gino Thickcool. I don't know who that is. I don't know if I should. Rory McIlroy is on there. One of the other ones, is football adjacent. I saw the name Juszczyk. And it's just a gal on there, and she looked all done up. And
that's Kyle Juszczyk's wife. Who does all the vests.
I'm quite aware. Not all just the vests. She has turned herself into quite the fashion mogul. So dressing celebrities and athletes, and did some work for the Winter Olympic team. Winter Olympics have a pretty nice showing on this list. Prince Harry somehow made it for the Invictus Games that he founded. So it's a wild list. But there are a lot of names from rugby to cricket to pickleball that I did not recognize. Of course, all of the soccer players. But I think looking at the list in its entirety, just going and seeing what we can kind of surmise about it, you realize that we've got, ourselves some blind spots in sports. I know you kind of scrolling through the list. Are you seeing the same thing that I am? Don't know.
There's
the best
a lot of people
1,500
I do
racer.
know, and a lot of agents in here.
Yep.
But Smriti Mandana, female cricket player.
That's right.
Never heard of.
Do you know Mondo Duplantis?
I do not.
Oh,
that's
my
a great
dude.
name, though.
That is my dude. Mondo, pole vaulter. You'd probably recognize him. That guy is awesome. So I think he vaulted for Sweden, even though he went to LSU and trains in Louisiana. But that dude, the overview on him. Now, sports, business, media, culture, whatever you want to kind of put them in, there are a lot of people that were listed in there. I think that obviously speaks to kind of what we do. So I mentioned Kristen Juszczyk, who I would kind of put in that category, but Mike Tirico, Pablo Torre, Pat McAfee, Bill Simmons, a lot of people that are in there. Sean Sharamia is on that list. So there's a lot of ways that you can impact sport that isn't necessary as an athlete too. So exactly counter to what I just said about the WNBA finals, I found this to be a fascinating look, and I've read a handful of them, and I kind of started with some people that I didn't recognize, but going through that list, the cool thing about the Times 100 list, if you've never taken the time to dive into it, it is usually somebody that is a fan of, a colleague of, somebody that has worked with this person that writes the piece about them. So it is somebody else of major influence that is writing the article about them. So you get a little bio of everybody. It's a fun list to go through. It came out this morning, but I didn't find it until a little bit later this morning. So I haven't had a chance to go through the whole thing, but I tried to give a little breakdown of it. So kind of a fun way to go and look at sport. One of the guys on that list has been revealed exactly how much he's making per year to comment on sport. Fan text line is 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Casey and I not quite making that kind of money. Any suggestions you have for this show, the bonus hour? Hey, we've got extra time to stretch out, figure out our ways around this summer. We'd like to improve this show. If we can get anywhere near the kind of money this guy's making, we'd love to do that. We'll tell you who it is and we'll discuss next. But first, let's do a Sports Center update.
Well, first on the fan, the 44-year-old Serena Williams has officially made her comeback.
Yeah, okay. So is she going to be at Wimbledon? Is she going to be at the U.S. Open?
Well,
She's
the
playing
44-year-old
tennis.
23 Grand Slam singles champion and 14-time Grand Slam women's doubles champion united with Victoria Mboko against number 3 seeds Erin Routliffe of New Zealand and Nicole Melechar Martinez of the U.S. for a stunning 7-6, 6-2 win in 2 sets.
Yeah, what's the tournament? She's playing doubles at what tournament? It's right? I want her and Venus playing together. That's where it gets fun.
I want to say it was in London. I don't know what the title of the match was. But Serena,
call me when she shows up at Wimbledon. Hey, Serena is greatness. She is, undeniable greatness. It took me a while watching King Richard, it's a pretty good story.
It's a great movie.
Well, of course it is. I mean, the movie won an Oscar, and Will Smith couldn't slap his way out of winning an award. So it is a very, very good story. But the line where he says, Venus is set to be the greatest, and you're set to be the greatest of all time. And it was true, man. That guy prophesized it, and you do not seem to see the dysfunction that some other global icon superstars seem to have. So Serena, greatness.
Again, she took off 1,375 days.
Yeah, you want me to say something bad about it?
It's a long time to be off the sport.
Yeah.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm.
Now, if you're listening to this radio program, I assume that you're doing it on purpose. Lead me to believe that you enjoy the program, which would lead me to believe that you enjoy the personalities on the program. You think we're doing some things right. But obviously, we're not doing everything as well as we possibly could, because we are nowhere near the list of highest paid sports media personalities. We got a long way to go. So any advice that you have, 503-864-6326, feel free to send it our way. Casey and I will sift through it, and we'll try to, influence the show. That's what it's all about, getting better, growing as people. Are we perfect? No. Will we ever be? No, but we can strive.
Do we try?
In that direction. This is all we're doing. We're trying to collaborate. We've got the extra hour for a couple months. Let's use it to make the show better. When we get into football season, we want to have the best show we possibly can. Not for us, for you. If it ends up making us higher paid, we'll take it. We're not gonna turn down any money. We're not that altruistic. And, with that money, we could do some real good for people that need it. I'm sure the first thing you would do if you made 6-7 figures would be give a lot of it to charity. Right, Casey?
Sure.
Okay. See, I like the confidence in that answer. The nearest list that I could find of the highest paid media personalities was on Awful Announcing. This goes back to 2025, March of 2025. I'm going to give you this list of the people that are the highest paid, and then I'm going to have you guess the estimate of what Pat McAfee is going to be paid per year in his new deal.
Sounds good.
All right? I'll work backwards from this list. We'll go to number 13 on this list. Kirk Herbstreit, $10 million plus per year. Jim Nantz, $10.5 million. Chris Collinsworth, $12.5 million. Joe Buck, $12 to $15 million. He had a 5-year contract that was somewhere in that range. Shaq makes $15 million a year. Al Michaels makes $15 million per year. Pat McAfee's contract is expiring. That's why he's renegotiating the deal. He was getting paid in 2025, in March when they got this, assuming it's accurate, $17 million per year. Tony Romo, 18. Troy Aikman, 18.5. Stephen A. Smith makes $20 million per year. Charles Barkley, 21. And Tom Brady makes $37.5 million per year to show up on Sundays in the fall.
And it's more than Brady?
Sneaking into the winter. Pat McAfee, if this deal goes through as reported today, would be the highest paid sports media personality. Now, there's some reports that Jim Rome makes upwards of $30 million on his syndication deal. There's also reports out there that is entirely untrue. They also have his net worth listed at somewhere around $110 million. If you make $30 million a year and your net worth is only $110, either he's terrible with money or something is inaccurate in there. So I'm going to ignore that popped up when I was looking for this list. So assuming Tom Brady makes $37.5 million, the new deal for Pat McAfee will put him well above that.
I'm going to guess it's 40.
You'd be wrong.
It's more than that?
It's more than that.
Do I want to say 60?
It is reported that he will make $60 million
oh my.
per year. This is from Sports. This is a repost. Where is the original that I was looking at? So yeah, it is reported today that the negotiations that are wrapping up for Pat McAfee's deal. This is on a couple aggregators, but it is out there. So I've got it from The Athletic. Andrew Marchand is where it originated from. McAfee and ESPN are discussing a contract extension that would pay him more than $60 million per year. Athletic, pretty good source. A lot of different people obviously getting that out there, but yeah, they're saying 6. So what are we doing wrong? Do we need you with the...
Do we wear too many clothes?
Maybe that's it. I mean, we had this conversation the other day. I mean, maybe I should wear more tank tops.
I should just buy 7 days worth of black shirts and
does anybody
let it rip?
How many? Where's the Venn diagram? Who is out there that listens to this program and Pat McAfee.
Well, that'd be me.
Is it? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to add into this? I mean, I know that I was not a professional punter. That can't be the reason. There's something. Do I need to be better friends with Aaron Rodgers? Is that what?
I think we need to be nicer to Aaron.
Pat McAfee has had quite the rise, man. This guy has turned into apparently must watch. Like, I don't get the Stephen A. Smith thing. I've struggled to find somebody that can explain it to me. Pat McAfee is better than what you're getting from Stephen A. Smith? Question mark?
I'd argue that.
Okay. Is he 3 times better than Stephen A. Smith?
That I don't know.
I mean, Stephen A., we're trying to figure out how he makes $20 million a year, right? Like, that seems absurd that Screamin' A. Smith is making $20 million a year. Pat McAfee, better. 3 times better? 3 times more appealing to the executives, to the advertisers, to the sports media world than Stephen A. Smith.
Guess so.
What game does he play on his phone while he's watching sporting events? I mean, is it a better game?
Tecmo Bowl?
Tecmo. I would. Amen to that. They've got that. Have you played? There's a Tecmo Bowl retro version on the smartphone. Have you played that one?
Oh, I have.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Yeah, not the same.
Once you've played Madden on a Game Boy, nothing hits the same.
the Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES, 2 buttons. Let's go. It doesn't get much better than that. But it's also wheelhouse. Have you ever played NES?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to bust one out. We've got TVs all over this building. I know that I've got an NES. I've got an Atari somewhere that I need to actually get a converter so it will connect to a modern TV. But I've got an NES floating around somewhere. I think a friend has it right now. But I could probably track that thing down. We'll get that out, play a little Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, get a little Tecmo Super Bowl.
A little GoldenEye?
Going. GoldenEye is Nintendo 64. Come on. Don't just slap at Gen X and older millennials like myself GoldenEye on the NES.
Trying.
It's a weak effort. I did see something that's interesting to me. Speaking of going back to Nintendo 64, you ever play some Ocarina of Time?
Oh, yeah. Some Zelda?
Zelda is recrafting that story, that game, for the Switch 2.
It's going to be a good one. There are things that Nintendo does very well. Playing the Puppet Master on my nostalgia, that's what they do.
The nostalgia part is dead accurate. And what they do is they're not afraid to take chances, but they also are smart enough to go back to what worked. Like, you may not get these references. Super Mario Brothers, one of the great games of all time. The original Super Mario Brothers came in the packaging with your new NES Nintendo Entertainment System, and it was a combo cartridge of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Got the gun, got the paddles. You could play with Mario and Luigi, and you had to alternate, unless you're playing with your stupid brother who would just play through the entire 8 levels in one turn and would never switch over to Luigi, and you would just sit there and just watch him play, and then he'd stop in level 3 where you could jump on the turtle and get as many free guys as you want, just to taunt to you to show him that you could do that, even though he didn't need the extra guys because he'd make it through in one turn, and then he'd do that. And then they made Super Mario Brothers 2, which was a one-player game, but you could pick your characters, and it was weird. It's where you had those weird monsters that would shoot the eggs out of their stomach, the whole thing. It got weirder. So what do they do for Super Mario Brothers 3? They go back to the nostalgia thing. They make it so that you have to alternate players in between things. They add new things. Like, anytime that they feel like they go too far, boom, there's Paper Mario. There's Mario Wonder, Mario Deluxe, whatever. They just go back to the 2D, left to right, hop some turtles, jump on some Goombas, like, let's go. So that's 100%. The nostalgia, but they're also not afraid to go back and remake those games with that same gameplay and that same style. Like, that's what keeps everybody coming back. It's pretty brilliant.
They make sports games like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf,
Mario Golf
Super Strikers is the soccer game.
Yeah.
I've spent many an hour, many a night playing Strikers up until 4 in the morning where you're like, I should probably be going to bed.
Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64, I mean, I could play through that course at, like, I don't know what the you'd be like 36 under. Like it was just you figure out exactly what pixel you need to be positioned above and do the. I mean that game was epic, but sad news today. Pat McAfee making $60 million if reports are accurate. This coming from Andrew Marchand. With
How many other people?
Athletic.
I want to say he has 4 other hosts on his show.
I genuinely don't know. I mean,
Great money for all of them.
I don't think it's a show deal. I think it's Pat McAfee gets paid to show up for College Game Day and make fun of college kids while they kick and sit there in tank tops and talk to Aaron Rodgers. I can't figure it out. Again, help me out. Tell me what we're doing wrong. Does everybody just want more Aaron Rodgers? I'll try to make friends with him. I'll do what I can. I'll slide into his DMs.
I tried my hardest.
I'll make friends with his imaginary wife. See if that's an angle that we can get through. I'll call his family just to see what they did, so I can not do that. To see if he'll actually talk to me. Maybe that's. I'm not family, so doesn't have a ban on talking to me. He's probably just never heard of me. So we'll start there. We'll see what we can do. Vegas, I guess, officially has the A's, and they've played a game. It was bonkers. We'll tell you why. We'll do that next. It is Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network.
The Fan Golf.
Casey trying to get me to run through a wall. Every high school football game I ever played started with me sitting in the car, getting pumped up, listening in this car before I went to get on the bus or go down to, well, I guess we took the bus over to McKenzie Stadium too. So, yeah, to get on the bus, to go over, to start warming up for the football game. It was just a little solitude and a little Du hast was always my mode. I couldn't tell you why. I'm not sure that the Germans that made that song even knew what American football was, but got me pumped up, and that was my jam. Let's go to Las Vegas. Baseball. I don't know if you know this, young lowercase. The A's are going to end up in Las Vegas eventually. They're in Sacramento for the season, but they are playing 6 games in Las Vegas this season as a reminder to all of us sports fans that they will eventually be in Las Vegas. So they are playing at Vegas Field in Las Vegas, which is, of course, just a ballpark that is sitting there. Their stadium underway in the old Tropicana site. So they went out and played their first game last night. Did you happen to catch the score of that game?
High-scoring affair.
High-scoring affair indeed, and it took quite a while. The 15-14 game is the longest game played this season. It lasted 4 hours and 14 minutes. It went 13 innings and was the longest game played this year so far by far. Both teams used 7 pitchers through 441 pitches, which again is the most that we've seen this season. There were 16 ABS challenges during this game. So you get one extra, I guess, when you go to extra innings, but this was by far the most ABS challenges in a game ever, since it's the first time that we've had them. The most before that was 12 in a game earlier this year between the two teams combined, but they went for 16 on Monday night. The Brewers had 15 runs on 18 hits. The Athletics had 14 runs on 16 hits. This game was just everything that you could hope for and more. Tons of home runs. The two clubs combined for 11 home runs. The Vegas
11 home runs?
The A's by themselves, I was going to say the Vegas A's, they will be soon enough, and they have the Vegas patch on their shoulder, had 7, the most by any team since the other day when the Giants were beating the hell out of the Cubs. So actually, it was just,
we were watching that game live, weren't we?
It was like 3 days ago. It was like Friday.
Oh,
it was Friday. So that one actually pretty hilarious. The 29 combined runs is the most in Major League Baseball this season. The earlier was 25 on May 31st when the Giants again. There you go. Giants beat the Rockies 19-6. Do you remember the Giants starting this season? They just beat the Cubs 18-3. They beat the Rockies 19-6 on May 31st. Do you remember how the season started for the Giants?
They got swept by the Yankees.
And how many runs did they score in that?
Was it 3?
If that. I think it took them 2 games to score any runs. The 15-4 is only the 18th time in Major League Baseball history that has been the final score of a game. The last time that it happened, August 17th, Brewers Nationals. So Brewers have done it a couple times. It also happened in the 1993 World Series. There was a 15-14 game.
Giants started the season 0-3 as they
against the Yankees in San Francisco.
Scored 1 run over 3 games.
Yeah.
13-1 run differential.
May 31st and whatever Friday was, so the June the 4th. So in 5 days, they scored 37 runs in those 2 games.
June 5th.
But June 5th. Okay, so pull up their schedule. See how many runs they've scored in the last week, considering they scored 1 run in the opening series. But they scored 18 on the 5th, and they scored 19 on the 31st, according to these stats. So they've had a little bit of an improvement in what you're expecting from them.
7 runs since Friday.
7. Oh, since I guess I meant in that stretch. You have their whole schedule up?
Yeah, I got their whole schedule pulled up.
So they scored 19 on the 31st, and then they scored 18 on the 5th. What in that stretch?
18.
to go with the rest of them.
They scored 12 against the Brewers on the 4th.
Jeez. They're just crushing people. What a turnaround.
They went from 19 runs against the Rockies.
Okay.
2 runs against the Brewers in a loss.
So there's 21.
3 runs against the Brewers in a loss.
24.
1 run against the Brewers in a win.
25.
12 runs against the Brewers in a win.
Okay. It's a lot. Well, wherever that Cubs game was.
That was right after.
Yeah, so then they had the Cubs game. So
Yep.
they've scored like 50 runs in a week. They scored 1 in the opening series. Andy Dirt Johnson of morning show fame swore off the Giants right then and there. You might want to tune back in because they're doing something right, and it's fun to watch. All right, let's get into the regular mayhem that is our normally scheduled happy hour. We're going to do that next. It's 105.1 The Fan.
Running a small...
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, San Antonio Spurs took Game 3 of the NBA Finals as they picked up the win in MSG last night. Final on that one was 115-111 as Victor Wembanyama, he led the way for the Spurs as he finished with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks. Game 4 will be back again in New York as the Knicks come into Game 4 as early 2.5-point betting favorites. Over to the NHL as Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final is tonight at 5 p.m. Vegas currently leads 2-1 in the series, but it's the Hurricanes who come into the match as 1.5-goal favorites. Make sure to catch all of tonight's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 4:30. The Minnesota Wild have signed Michael McCarron to a 6-year, $20 million contract. McCarron played in 20 regular season games for the Wild this season, setting career highs in shots on goal and 77 blocked shots for Minnesota. And finally, some NFL news for you, as longtime Browns guard Joel Bitonio is retiring after 12 seasons with the Browns. During his tenure with the Browns, Bitonio was named to first-team All-Pro lists in both 2021 and 22, and is tied with Myles Garrett with 7 Pro Bowl appearances as a Brown, the 4th most in team history. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And
Hey, happy Call Your Doctor Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on the Little Happy Hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. If you're listening on the radio through 105.1 The Fan FM or 1080 AM, online at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or if you cheered your smart speaker so much that it sounded like a boo, and this is what you got, use the fan text line, 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the text, use the chat, share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. What about the World Cup has you most excited? Lowercase, can I interest you in a good old-fashioned World Cup-themed beaver hunt?
Yeah, why not?
That's what I thought. So apparently, Toronto has created a World Cup-themed scavenger hunt in which participants are asked to go around town trying to locate 51 beaver statues on display in the city's Old Town Toronto neighborhood.
I do love me a good scavenger hunt.
North America, this is how you do it. I know we're sharing this across the countries, but if we don't step up, Canada's getting the next World Cup, and they're going to leave Mexico and the U.S. right out of it. I don't know where this came from or what the idea was, but the neighborhood's business improvement area came up with an idea to get people to go through and check it out. There's going to be people from all over the globe going into cities across the country. So, hey, why not have a contest? The Great Beaver Quest is the challenge. So if you find yourself in Toronto, I have no idea what games are going to be played up there, but the beaver mascot in the red flannel shirt in the town square is already getting plenty of buzz. So congratulations to you, Toronto. And we'll go ahead.
Do you want the Canada games?
Oh, yeah,
games
Toronto.
in Toronto?
Games in Toronto. Yes, please.
Yeah, Friday, June 12th, you got Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Okay.
Wednesday, June 17th, Ghana versus Panama. Saturday, June 20th, Germany versus Ivory Coast. Tuesday, June 23rd, Panama versus Croatia. Friday, June 26th, Senegal versus Iraq. Those are just your group stages.
Who is the best team in that group?
Germany, by far.
Okay. Not even close,
Then it's
right?
then it's Ivory Coast.
Oh, Ivory Coast. Pretty good team.
Ivory Coast is a great team.
I have no clue. Proud to say that. Perfectly happy to say that. Germany, I should have guessed.
They've got a Torre, so.
Okay.
Former Ivory Coast striker Yaya Touré. He's one of the greatest strikers to ever live.
I will take your word for it. Thank you. Thank you for the insight, World Cup guru, lowercase. I appreciate that. Congratulations to our winner of Take Your Pick. We've got that too. For the second time in 3 weeks, emailed him last time to see if he'd join the show. He goes, well, if I win again, Kerry James wins 10 out of 15. Got it right. Only one player was within a series of winning that, and it was me. He got me just at
the nail biter.
I know. Shouldn't have picked the Angels to beat the Dodgers. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't be dumb enough to do that. Are you kidding me?
I think I'd definitely pick the Angels.
No, I think the one that got me is I went with Split and in the Royals and the Twins well, actually he picked the Twins too. So actually we were fine with that. I'll have to go back through and figure out what it was. You know who it probably was? Stupid Mariners. Come on. Put on my Magana goggles the next time I look at the pick'em and see if I can do a little bit better job with that. But hey, Carrie, you've been emailed by us a few times, so we'll have to get you on the show. Whether you can call in or come in, let us know. One other thing that's very, very exciting: the 12th annual Fan Golf Classic presented by Toyota. Completely sold out. Foursomes in this year's tournament at Langdon Farms Golf Club went in record time. If you missed it this year, come back next year. Duh. Thank you to all of our sponsors for this year's tournament. Victoricos is back, bringing us pre-round burritos, Matt's Barbecue, post-round food, the host of the infamous Sixth Hole Angels Envy Bourbon, where all the show hosts will be hanging out. Fan Golf Classic is presented by Toyota. It's also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson & Daughter, Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Mastro Dobel Tequila, Laurelhurst Market, Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, A Legal Mezcal, Pub Beer, Cheap Fun, Apex Golf, and Window Nation. So, yeah, get on it next year if you've missed out on it. I used the bonus hours. So if you're just joining us now, we've got bonus hours. 1 o'clock, tune into the Fan. If you want to hear us say words about things, we'll be doing this all summer, at least through the end of July. August 1st, Duck Insider will return just in time for the runway to be cleared for college football. They'll have all the interviews. Dusty Hara will be on that program when they come back. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have him join us every Wednesday. So you will not miss out on your Ducks if you want to do that. So that should be fun. To start the bonus hour, kind of went on a little bit of a journey through the way the media is covering the Spurs. I do want to give Victor Wembanyama some credit because he did do some things yesterday, post-game, that he deserves credit for. He's a very astute fan of the NBA. Like, he loves himself some basketball. He loves himself some himself, but he does appreciate basketball. Somebody asked him how he feels about being the villain in New York, and his comment was fantastic. He said, I guess I'm nowhere near Trae Young level, which is, congratulations on that. Wonderful, wonderful note on that. The other thing was him and De'Aaron Fox both praising Stephon Castle. You know what I forget? Stephon Castle, you know how old he is?
21
years old. Victor Wembanyama, 22. Stephon Castle, 21. Dylan Harper?
19.
That is one of the things. So Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, the two leaders, the veteran and the only guy that matters, both praising. So I did want to give him credit for that. The maturity that these guys are showing. So I know we kind of went through the list of different Spurs that aren't getting enough credit. Give credit to Victor Wembanyama for praising the other guys. But, dude, if this little nucleus stays together for the next decade, that is a dangerous thing. Castle, 23 points, 5 boards, 5 assists in 38 minutes. Pretty dang good.
Hit some pretty clutch free throws at the end there, too.
Does he look like he's not supposed to be there?
He just
at all?
He is super composed.
Does Dylan Harper look the same way?
A little bit.
I'm saying this team is pretty good. And then a little credit to Magic Johnson, who's giving credit to Victor Wembanyama. His exact tweet: in awe of Victor Wembanyama's performance tonight. He also became the second youngest player to have 35-5 in a victory over the Knicks on their home court, behind some guy who played for the Lakers. As much as we'd like to think that we're seeing things that we've never seen before, there have been some great basketball players that have been through this league before. And I love that Magic Johnson went out there and pointed that out to everybody. Victor Wembanyama is otherworldly because of his height. There's going to be guys that are going to make it their mission in life to take down Victor Wembanyama. I would love to see him get a rival, get somebody that can equal it. Because the first thing that I thought of with Magic Johnson saying that, how great was the league when it was Magic and Bird?
It's electric.
As much as we love Michael Jordan, he only took a year and a half off. He didn't take 2 full years off. When he left, in his void of the 2 finals that he missed, because he came back and he wore number 45, the Bulls made it to the Eastern Conference Finals the 2 years that he wasn't playing anyways. Those 2 years the Rockets won those championships. The Rockets and Bulls never faced off in a final. That is something that we missed out. I would have loved to have seen Olajuwon versus Jordan. Of course, you saw Stockton and Malone versus Jordan, but Jordan obviously won both of those.
Jordan.
Well, you saw a lot of everybody that faced Jordan in the final, but the back and forth would have been fantastic. The best thing about the LeBron era, so LeBron has had to clash with a team that won 5 championships in the Spurs. LeBron had to clash with the Warriors. LeBron had a flawed record in the finals. I think it's a lot more fun that way. Man, I want to see these teams go head-to-head. If SGA and the cast of characters that they have in OKC can make it back to another one, and you see year after year those 2 teams making it to the final, it's a whole lot better than one team just running roughshod over the lead. I know that we all missed Michael Jordan. I get that. But I think the league's a whole lot better when you got matchups. So this, to me, a 2-1 series lead still for the Knicks. And this one, hopefully, will go the distance and we'll get a Game 7 and it'll come down to a final shot. Kind of what I always want. If it doesn't come down that way, let's go Knicks. That's all I'm saying. But as soon as I saw those Magic Johnson comments, first, nice little dig. You were great. Second, league was great when you had those rivalries, and then throw the Pistons on top of that with them going up against the Celtics at the end, going up against the Bulls as they took off. I think it makes it a lot more fun. But we need to do some in case you missed it, so let's go ahead and do that thing. In case you missed it, major universities like Georgia and Nebraska have preemptively banned their athletic programs from scheduling any future matches against Texas Tech in response to Brendan Sorsby's gambling injunction. Finally, someone is putting their foot down against this travesty. Tech going through the courts to get this kid on the field is a slap in the face of college football's long, proud history of covering up crimes and pretending they didn't happen. This is not the way the Texas Tech boycott is rapidly expanding across major conferences, with both the SEC and Big Ten uniting to send a harsh, uncompromising message about hypocrisy in college sports. Can you imagine how upset the leaders of the Big Ten and SEC must be? If you claim to be a super conference, you cannot let the little old Big 12 be the first one to pull a sweet scam like using regional courts to get gambling addicts back under center. That has to be you guys. Be better, SEC. That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason anybody's upset when anything goes wrong in college football, I feel, is, damn, we should have thought of that first. Tell me you couldn't find somebody in Athens, Georgia that'd be like, yeah, we could get a court ruling for you, get a guy. Listen, we'll take a look at it, and what do you say? February? And then all these old guys just touch their belly. In case you missed it, the Arizona Diamondbacks are reportedly finalizing a deal with a 17-year-old Korean two-way player named Young Song Eom fans are very excited about the signing, calling him Shohei Ohtani. And I'm sure that they've got the next Shohei Ohtani. I mean, the hype has to be real, right? It only took 100 years to get a second Babe Ruth, but sure, now we're just going to get one every decade. The Dodgers paid $700 million for the real thing. I'm guessing the D-backs just ordered a knockoff of Wish.com. That's what this is. Calm down. Of course, if he signed with the Mariners, I'd probably be on the hype train too, but I think you get... In case you missed it, Time Magazine released their 100 most influential people in sports for 2026, and Roger Goodell made the list as an icon. Roger also made a little history. He joins Kermit the Frog as only the second puppet ever to make a Times 100 list. So congratulations to Roger Goodell. In case you missed it, also on the list, Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan were listed as a dual entry. I know Jordan is a global icon, but this feels like a real shot at NASCAR, especially when you look at the list and there is a ping pong player, a pickleball player, and an esports athlete that have standalone entries. This is not great. That's true. There is a ping pong player, a pickleball player, and Faker, your esports guy. Not a good thing. I'm gonna wrap things up. This is just one of my favorite jokes. Every time I think of NASCAR, I think of a comic that I used to perform with, and I went out on the road a couple times with a guy named Jeremy Flores. Asked me this: do you know why they call it NASCAR?
I do not.
Because that is a NASCAR, man. That car is NAS. You see that car? That car right there. That car. I love that joke, and I love Jeremy Flores. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but if I ever reconnect with that dude, one of the funnier people that I've ever met. Thank you to our studio audience. We are going to play the fun game we call Play-by-Playback at 2:30. Casey has found some playback clips that we will discuss when we get into the 2:30 hour. But next, Mariners are dropping shortstops, slow sales for the NFL overseas, and players taking shots on the way out from their teams, which I love. We're going to do the Daily Buzz. It's next on Happy Hour. This is 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan Golf
Now, the Seattle Mariners have not won every series, but 5 straight series with a Game 1 victory, which is really the best way to get the start for a series. Yesterday, they get a 6-3 win over the Orioles. Included a Josh Naylor grand slam and a couple ABS challenges that were perfectly timed and well placed. But a little bit of bad news for your Seattle Mariners. They have just placed J.P. Crawford on the 10-day IL. And Colt Emerson, who is the natural step-in at shortstop, is now listed as day-to-day. So down 2 shortstops. It's great to have all that depth there, and you've called up the young kid, and he's looked really great so far. But not exactly what you want to see for your Seattle Mariners. It's other than the shortstop position where you're wondering what they're going to... I think they're in a pretty good position. Josh Naylor coming on strong. Their pitching rotation is 6 deep and great. Bryce Miller's been awesome since coming back from injury. Luis Castillo going in the right direction. So not too much to worry about from there.
The Buzz.
One of your Seattle Seahawks is on the Times 100 list of the most influential people in sports, and it is none other than Offensive Player of the Year, JSN. This is just another feather in the cap for a young player that at the beginning of last season, I just want to take you all back into the time capsule. Geno Smith off to Vegas. DK Metcalf will send you off to Pittsburgh. What are the Seahawks going to do with new quarterback Sam Darnold and fewer weapons? Cooper Kupp can't be the answer, bringing in this old-timer. We're really going to hang the number 1 receiver chain around the neck of JSN? Yeah, they did, and it worked out pretty damn well. So congratulations, JSN, for making another prestigious list. Did you have something to add there?
No.
Okay. Looked like you were thinking on something. Don't look quizzical.
I was looking at after he led the league in receiving yards, what did Jamar Chase do the next year?
What did Jamar Chase do the next year?
Went for 1,400.
And what did Joe Burrow do the next year?
Believe he was hurt.
Yeah. So, that's going to make a bit of a difference, I would think, right? Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow is one of those connections that is unlike any other, where you take a guy who is your number 1 wide receiver in college, you bring him onto the same team in the pros, and you have, I guess he wouldn't even, Justin Jefferson was on that team too. That LSU team is just absolutely stupid talented that won the, 2019 national championship. Was that it? Was it further back than that?
I believe
2018?
it was 20, was it?
I don't think it was COVID year, was it? Either way. The most ridiculously talented team you've ever seen, and all of those guys having a lot of success.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Well, the game was played in 2020, but it was a 2019
season.
Yeah. So 2019. We'll call them the 2019 Bayou Bengals. All right.
The Buzz.
What do we have here? Oh, right now, this one is curious to me, and I think I have a guess at an explanation. But right now, the Texans-Jaguars game in London, set for October, not selling tickets very well. A lot of people are pointing to the ticket pricing strategy as something that is probably a culprit for it. Other people saying they're playing too many international games. You're getting fatigue of the NFL overseas. Here's my guess. I think people are spending a whole lot of money on the World Cup this summer, and now is not the time to be spending a little extra on sport. That is just my guess, but this is something that has been raising concerns from players, saying that playing in Australia this year, playing, I think, 9 international games in total, is going to be a lot. The 49ers, I think, play 2 international games this season, so plenty of concerns with players. This is the first time we've seen the strategy even feign at having any sort of backfire from the fans, but right now, just something to keep an eye on. Slow ticket sales over the first week of them being available for the game in London between the Jaguars, who do play over there a ton, and the Texans. I know these aren't great historic franchises. They're 2 pretty good teams. Liam Cohen went in and turned the Jaguars into a contender last year, and C.J. Stroud wasn't great in the postseason, but that team has been to the postseason a lot. That defensive front is gnarly.
And again, the Jaguars
will
The Jaguars will have already have been there because they'll be playing in Tottenham the week before versus the Eagles.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the part of the strategy that's just falling apart. Because, yeah, you keep one team over there for back-to-back weeks. You wonder how much overlap there is. I don't know how far Tottenham is from London, but I imagine...
Tottenham's in London.
Well, there you go. So I'm sure that probably has some part of it. So just, you know what? You push these strategies and you see how they work. So maybe that is exactly what it is. So
they're a 32-minute drive from the stadiums.
There you go. 32 minutes apart.
Wembley Stadium and Tottenham Stadium, about 35 minutes.
Makes sense to me.
The Buzz.
All right. These two I absolutely love. Who do we want to start with? You want to go Browns or you want to go Eagles?
Let's go Eagles first.
A.J. Brown. You see the message that he wrote in the practice facility?
I did not.
So following the trade to New England, wide receiver A.J. Brown put a little message back to his team. So Brown went into the practice facility, leaving a signed photo displayed on the wall with a little writing on it that said, "The best to ever play here, always open, A.J. Brown." Come on.
The best to ever play there? Wow.
It's A.J. Brown. Wonder why there might have been some animosity between the team, the offense there.
I'm just trying to
the
think
dude
of...
that's reading books on there. Well, I mean, T.O. is the first guy that I think of.
I can name three receivers that are better than A.J. Brown.
Okay, of Eagles receivers.
Of Eagles receivers.
Okay,
guys who played for the Eagles.
Well, yeah, that's the game. So T.O. on that list?
T.O. is number 1 on that list. Well, actually, T.O. is number 2 on that list behind.
Number 2. I'm struggling here. Give me who you got.
I'd rather take Deshaun Jackson. Definitely
Deshaun Jackson.
And Julio Jones definitely played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's the best to ever do it in that uniform.
Okay. So Deshaun Jackson. That is a tough one. I will put him as his career. Julio Jones, he's an Eagle. Or he's a Falcon. Julio Jones wasn't.
What did we specify?
Well, hey, you made your list. Give me my chance to do it. I do not think of Julio Jones as an Eagle. I think of him as a Falcon, the fact that he played there. Jerry Rice played in Seattle. He's not one of Seattle's greatest receivers of all time. He played, and he's on the field. He borrowed Steve Largent's number 80, but in Seattle, it's still Steve Largent's 80. That's all. He's certainly not the best to ever do it. Deshaun Jackson is an interesting one because Deshaun Jackson was great, but he's also a bonehead. So those two are pretty even with that. What do you got?
I think there's a few more on this list, too.
I figured there were. I mean, if you go back in the day, there's guys that I'm definitely not thinking of. But the Eagles, I'm trying to go back and think of guys historically that play there. Who else you got when you pulled up the list on the interwebs?
Harold Carmichael. He's the leading receiver in franchise history.
What years did he play?
1971 to 1983.
Yeah. Yep.
Zach Ertz, that's a tight end.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is 8th on the list with 5,000 yards.
Yeah. Where's Deshaun Jackson on that list?
Oh, he's 3rd.
3rd, yeah. Okay. And who's in between? So give me the
in between Deshaun Jackson and A.J. Brown is Mike Quick, played from 1982 to 1990. Okay. Zach Ertz, Pete Pihos.
Sure.
He was an end and a defensive end who also managed to have 5,600 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Tommy McDonald played from 1957 to 1960.
Yeah, good old Tommy McDonald.
But 10th on the list is Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah, it's not a big list. I mean, Deshaun Jackson's the one that I probably should have got it, but I also don't think of him as like a franchise, changing guy when he goes there. But he was that electric. But the first thing I think of Deshaun Jackson is dropping the ball before the goal line.
Yeah, that was with the Eagles.
I mean, that's the first. I think he did it twice. He did it at Cal too. I think he did it twice in the NFL and once at Cal. So, but his speed was otherworldly. The last cheap shot parting words is retiring Browns guard Joel Bitonio. His quote, he had a 12-year career, made a couple all-pro teams. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time all-pro selection. He is in rare air as far as Browns go. His quote, I was drafted the same year as Johnny Manziel. We actually roomed together. I learned some things not to do from him. Tip of the cap to Johnny Manziel on the way out. Congratulations to Batonio on a wonderful career. You played offensive line, so I'm sorry that I never really heard of you. But with that, we will get ready for some play-by-play back. That is going to be next. First, we have to walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk and see what we're missing.
This SportsCenter update is brought to you by A&E Plumbing, Heating and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge. Online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the fan, this happens to be my favorite story of this entire offseason. Have you seen what's going on with Dylan Gabriel?
I have not. And we talk about the Browns a lot on this little show.
Well,
Too much. More than I want to.
Do you remember what number Dylan Gabriel wore last year?
I don't, actually. Did he with number 1?
Well, Dylan Gabriel wore the number 8.
8, okay.
It just so happens that the Browns' new signing and a guy that they traded away Myles Garrett for, he also wears the number 8.
Yeah, Jared Verse.
And on the first day of training camp, Jared Verse showed up in a number 8 jersey.
Did Dylan Gabriel also show up in a number 8 jersey?
Oh, yes, they did. And now there are no longer 2 players wearing number 8 at Browns practice. Snapshots of quarterback Dylan Gabriel at Tuesday's practice show that he's wearing number 6.
Oh,
both Gabriel and
yep.
newly acquired edge rusher Jared Verse wore number 8 last week, but word was that Gabriel would change numbers and leave his former one for Verse.
Wearing number 8 to honor Marcus Mariota at the University of Oregon is one thing. I don't know who the great number 8 is for the Browns. I believe you're number 3 on the depth chart, despite putting up better numbers than Shedeur Sanders when you were in the games last year. Dylan Gabriel not getting much respect. Get out of Cleveland as fast as you can. If Joe Flacco taught you anything while he was there, get out when you can, and wish you much better luck in your second stop.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt.
Sorry.
Inbound OG takes the three, missed it at the horn. The road team rules in these NBA Finals. The San Antonio Spurs come to Madison Square Garden and knock off the Knicks 115 to 111. San Antonio down 2-1 in the NBA Finals.
Well, the Spurs are here for a fight now. As they were going back to MSG for Game 4, Spurs now have a little bit of a fight going.
Well, more importantly, they go back to San Antonio. I mean, things didn't go the way that they planned. They obviously have the chance to make the game-winning shot in the second game of the series after giving up a 11-0 run to finish the first game. So now you have it where Game 5 will be played back in San Antonio, and you alternate, and Game 7 would be at home. So that's a big advantage for them if they were to get there, if they could figure out how to win at home. That's the wild thing about this. If the pattern continues, is you get to a Game 7 and potentially without having won a home game, and that can make things really dicey. So the way that the series has started, it just like they said in the clip, the road teams rule in this. I don't know how often or if ever we've had it where no home team were to win in a 7-game series in the NBA or the finals or in hockey or anywhere, but I'm sure they've come close. You got anything on that?
There has never been an NBA Finals where the home team failed to win a single game.
So at some point you would expect somebody to step up, and if they want to dig out of this hole, they're going to have to continue to do it. I think things will be a little bit calmer around the world's most famous arena. There's not going to be a president in the house on Wednesday that I know of, so you're going to have a little calmer experience. I think that everybody's going to be a little bit more all business to start things off, so we'll see if the Spurs can continue what they've got. It was a close game throughout, and a little stretch in the fourth quarter is the only difference of that game.
Are you still saying let's go Knicks?
I will be rooting for the Knicks. I said yesterday, even with all of the hype going into it, you're going home, you've got a 2-0 lead, people started talking sweep. I was not expecting the Spurs team to back down, and they played a great team game yesterday.
Bowden still with possession. Former captain of the Moose Jaw Warriors, back to McNabb and across. Theodore missed. And Theodore says good night.
It kept going for another 10 more seconds, so I had to cut it short there.
Yeah.
But that was the final goal from Game 3 of the NHL Stanley's Cup. Are you excited for Game 4 tonight?
Yes, very. I might be. I don't know if I'm more excited for the Stanley Cup, but the third periods and the last two have gone to overtime is exactly what you want. But remember, both of those games went in with big leads. It was a 2-0 game in Game 2, and it was a 4-0 game in Game 3. So the entire games have not been back and forth. And I think the first game, there was a 2-0 lead in that game. I don't think it was going into the third period. But you had these, leads that you felt should be safe, and turns out were not. So if you're going to tune in late, usually it's the NBA. You go, yeah, it's going to be back and forth, and if it's close with 3 minutes left, certainly for regular season games, then you go and get some energy going into it. But these hockey games, man, it's goalies being pulled, need a goal, making them, getting them, then you get into overtime, and it's just 20 minutes of pure tension, and eventually it's been broken once by each team so far in the series. It has been awesome. And just listening to that clip, the sounds of a hockey game are just great. You get the screeching of the court or whatever it is in basketball, the dribbling and all of that, the grunting that you get in football. Ball to leather, ball to bat in baseball, pretty good. But, man, the skating, the swishing, the horn,
the sound of the puck on the ice.
The sticks on the ice. Like, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So let's have a couple Game 7s here. Why not? Let's go Hurricanes. Let's go Spurs in the next one. Let's get to Game 7. I've got my fandom in the Hurricanes penalty box, and I've got it in the Knicks court. So that's where I'm sitting right now.
First one to PCA. High fly ball, right field. That's back. We're tied. 2-2. And it's the PCA show here at Wrigley.
Well, that clip was from Pete Crow Armstrong as he is snapping out of that poor hitting streak that he was running through. In his last 10 games, PCA is hitting .419 with 18 hits, 5 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. That's a pretty good way to bounce back out of
Does he have 2 walk-offs in that stretch as well?
He does.
And a game-tying home run? I mean, it's not just how he's doing it, it's when he's doing it. The slump wasn't just hitting either. He wasn't fielding great, but he has snapped out of it. That's one of the things, too, as we do this day-by-day thing. I try not to get, everybody in the day-by-day that I do with the Mariners, and you kind of get these ups and downs, and there's not the start that you wanted, but you can get caught in the trap of what happens every single day. If you take the big, long view and take a step back and look at the Major League Baseball season, the numbers are the numbers at the end of the day. But nobody gets through without peaks and valleys in this. Pete Crow Armstrong, a young player, he's going to be centerpiece of the Cubs for a long time to come. At least it feels that's going to be the case. And
he's mom's favorite player.
How did that come to be? She's a Cubs fan, and she just loves guys.
She's
that
always
the
loved
letters,
Chicago sports.
The letters that go all the way across the jersey is to almost wrap around a touch below the numbers. Is that her favorite thing about?
Well, that, and I don't think I can name a single other player on the Cubs. So I went, that's a good guy to vote for.
Just go for that. PCA is also a good set of initials as well. There's something about that. It's not the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH, but PCA is a pretty rock-solid set of initials. That cat, there's not a ton of them that jump to mind other than that. So, yeah, good on you, kid. You snapped out of it, but he has been absolutely ripping it up. The Cubs went kind of the same way he did, man. They went the wrong direction. So it's nice to see these corrections and getting back on the right path. It's fun when the Cubs are good.
101 ABS. It's a ball.
Can't take him home with you.
Called strike, ABS. ABS. That's a ball. Tying run is on.
Well, that was Cincinnati Reds, I believe, outfielder Matt McLain.
Yeah.
Challenging the ABS call 3 pitches in a row. Was successful on all 3, but you asked me to pull this clip. Are umpires getting worse and worse, or are they kind of relying on ABS to bail them out some days.
Well, I mean, I think what it might be, too, and this is something that we talked about early on, when we were kind of learning what this was going to be. In the first couple weeks of baseball, it was teams and players trying to figure out what their strategy was, when to do it, when not to do it. I think what's really happening here is when the umpires are bad, they get called for it, which I think we love. That's, I feel, is pretty universal.
And keeping our feet to the fire.
The other thing is I would love to see the trend chart, and luckily we have each team playing 162 of these, so you're going to have a whole lot of data. I'd like to know how much better the hitters, catchers, pitchers are still only doing it occasionally, but at figuring out exactly where that zone is. And that's the beauty of what this is everybody's going to have some lapses, and sometimes it's 6 inches and sometimes it's 0.06 inches where the umpire is incorrect. But when the hitter gets an opportunity to call them out, I'd be very curious how much better hitters as a whole. I'd be curious how many guys really stand out. Are there going to be guys that are terrible and happy to call the ABS out as much as they can? Are there going to be guys that excel at it, and are they going to be encouraged by their team to use it more often? So it'll be really interesting when we can get all of this data and really sink into it.
Or even vice versa, where you have a guy that probably has used it maybe more than he should.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
Looks around like,
yeah,
stop it.
Yeah, it's like all right, Casey, we appreciate what you're trying to do, but mighty Casey,
but Aaron Judge,
you are not allowed to use this anymore. Jim over here is doing fantastic. Use it as much as you want. But yes, will people get banned from using it? They'll put a little mark on their helmet, the green dot that says not allowed to call ABS challenges. But it is fun. It's still, a fun thing to watch, the little game inside the game. 16 ABS challenges in the A's-Brewers game last night. That means they got an awful lot of them right as they went on. So pretty good. Hey, would you like to go to a party with Tom Hanks, Steve Martin, and Martin Short? Does that sound like a pretty good time?
Sounds like a retirement buffet, but yeah, sure.
Well, I think you're kind of onto something there. I'll tell you what they're doing at this party. They do it every 5 years. It's a good old time. That is next when we do one more for the road. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network.
The new
Kids Podcast, 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. Get both hours. We're doing bonus hours all summer. August 1st, Duck Insider will return. We'll get some special guests tomorrow. Dusty Hara slated to join us. We'll talk a little college football. Well, he'll talk college football, and I'll ask questions because I've not been paying attention, but would love to get his thoughts on the Brendan Sorsby disaster and everything else that is going on. But right now, we need to do... I asked you before the break if you'd like to hang out with Tom Hanks, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. Every 5 years, they have a party for a very specific reason. Care to guess what that reason is, young man?
The hometown buffet is open until 9 p.m.?
No, you will not be one that has had experience with this. I have. A little family history actually got me into it a little bit earlier. It's their 5-year celebration of their colonoscopies. They all get together, play cards, take their laxatives at the same time. Whoever is the first one to go to the bathroom is the one that gets last pick of the colonoscopy appointments. Hanks was on Kimmel last night claiming that he is usually the champion, claiming to have an iron colon. So congratulations to you, Tom Hanks, on that accolade. That sounds like a pretty fun party, and I'm going to have to figure out something to do when I have my next colonoscopy. Oh, good times. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Lowercase, thank you as always. And of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.